I'm having my cafecito and I am getting ready for my first session of the day, and I am contemplating my dreams in true Pisces fashion. And so in my dream last night, I dreamt that someone who I used to be fairly close with, I actually haven't ever met them in person. I met them in person in my dream, and they were very standoffish and they didn't want to hang out with me or talk to me. And it was unfortunate because I felt very drawn to them, excited about them. And so there was a overall arching feeling of rejection in this dream. And when I woke up, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about our need to be liked. And it started to remind me of how so many of us hold ourselves back from being truly seen because we're afraid of what people will think, or we're afraid that we won't be liked. And how I work with my clients and myself to get beyond that point, so that way we can be who we truly are, who we are meant to be. A lot of the times it ends up being that when we are who we really are meant to be, we end up making a bigger impact. And in our work, sometimes we end up making more money and all of that stuff. But the deeper part of being who we're really meant to be is living our life purpose. And what if it were true that when we're living our life purpose, we're not going to be liked by everyone? Is that okay? And will the pleasure, fulfillment of living our life purpose be enough? Or is the fear of maybe not being liked by someone, or being ghosted by someone, or being criticized by someone going to be the thing that gets in the way of us encouraging ourselves to be bold and courageous and live the life that we truly want to live? So that's something that I've been thinking about this morning. I am going just around in circles with it because this is something that a lot of my clients experience. But in our coaching sessions, we really work to get to the core thoughts and core beliefs that give us the courage to show up in the way that we really want to show up. And not only the courage, but we get to the bottom of why it's important to us to show up in the way that we want to show up. And I work with a lot of marginalized individuals. And so there is an element of safety sometimes, and not only safety in today's world, but we navigate a lot of transgenerational trauma where our ancestors were harmed or worse for showing up and being bold and being loud and proud. And so we have that to navigate as well. And so coaching goes pretty deep in that sense because we address that, we address the thoughts, we address the transgenerational trauma, and we learn from what works and what doesn't work, and how we could continue to work towards just living our life purpose to the best of our ability. So, as I mentioned, I woke up with this sensation of being rejected because of the dream that I had. But I'm thinking I was still laying in bed, and when I was thinking about the dream and even how it could apply in real life, like, I don't know why this person hasn't been reaching out or hasn't really answered our last correspondence. And I'm not really going to be pushing or anything like that. And I'm not necessarily going to be assuming that it has anything to do with me. It might just have to do with them and what they're navigating in their experience. It doesn't even really truly matter. They have the free will to interact with me or not. But it just, when I was laying in bed thinking about all of this stuff and having that fresh sensation of rejection, I was thinking, this experience and this dream and the point in time in my life right now is really helping me strengthen my self-esteem and my self-worth. Because back in the day when I experienced anything like this, it was my natural tendency to hide, to abort, to hide, what do they say? Hide my light under a bushel or whatever, because there's that feeling of vulnerability. There's a feeling of embarrassment. There's a lot of different emotions that go into staying strong, staying true to you in the face of someone who may or may not like you. And so as vulnerable and difficult as it felt, I really give gratitude for this in particular moment in my life where I'm being given the opportunity to stay true to who I am, regardless of what people think of me. And beyond that, I'm also involved in some projects that they didn't necessarily sign up to work with me. Their work is mandating them to be part of coaching. And within that, like me or don't like me. And it does that. Can I stay strong in the idea that I can help? I have some tools that can help them navigate the challenges that they're navigating, and they don't have to like me. And I'm going down a rabbit hole because I just wanted to riff on this topic, because there are also people that I work with who have come to the consciousness that being liked is directly connected to their value, their self-worth, and that they're working to undo that. So this is a topic that I think many of us experience to one degree or another, especially marginalized individuals who have been harmed and ostracized and continue to be, what do they call it, othered. And I think that it's important for us to find self-empowerment within that. And there is a time and place to be angry about it. But when do we stop being angry and we just continue to be who we're born to be? Unless you're born to be angry, and that's a whole different story. But I have this inkling that we were born to live our life purpose, and our life purpose feels fulfilling. And so if you feel fulfilled in being angry, then maybe that's the caveat there. But the existential question is, do I have to be angry to be myself? So there was a lot of twists and turns in that conversation, but I know that some of y'all can relate to what I'm talking about. So if you're watching and if any part of this resonated with you, let this be an indicator that today you can do you and be you, and not everyone has to like you. And if you know for sure you're not in a life or death situation, but you're feeling a certain type of way, stop, drop, and create coherence in your nervous system. So that way your body knows that even though this is scary or stressful, that you are safe to be who you are, and encourage yourself to be you regardless of the feedback that you're getting from others, or regardless of whether you think people like you or not. And on that note, I wanted to invite you to the Stop, Drop, Create Coherence cohort. It's still going on. Saturday is going to be our second call. You can still join even if you missed the first live call. You'll get the replay for the first one. You'll get the replay for all of them, and the price has been reduced at this point. So in the Stop, Drop, Create Coherence cohort, we practice coherence the entire time, so that way we can build our coherence baseline, so that way the things that used to put us in fight, flight, fawn, and freeze no longer do so. And even in the most stressful moments, we have the presence and executive functioning to navigate those experiences. And you'll have access to the replays for 6 months, so that way you can use this cohort as an opportunity to practice these techniques for 6 months, really get that baseline of coherence up. And something that I wanted to share is that I've been practicing coherence and I've been increasing my baseline, and I forget where I was at, but I was in some kind of public arena, and I was thinking, oh man, what if something really bad happened right now? What if the worst thing started happening right now? And my brain went to presence and clarity. My brain went to this idea that we would figure it out, that I could navigate that situation, that I would not go into fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, that I would remain in control of my experience. And that gave me a lot of self-empowerment. And I saw for the first time personally, like, oh, okay, logically, I always knew why we were doing this. But this right here is why we're doing this, because when shit hits the fan, we want to remain in control of ourselves and our experience, and we want to keep our prefrontal cortex on, and we want to know exactly how to navigate the crisis, the experience that's happening without losing our agency. So if you feel like this is important to you, check out the Stop, Drop, Create, Coherence cohort as a tool. There's a link in my bio, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for listening to me ramble over cafecito.